All right, baby. We are back again. Ladies and gentlemen. Um, YouTube has a couple new features. I gotta check those out. Uh, but anyway, hope everyone's happy, healthy, successful, doing well, winning in life. We are. This is. There's not really a lot to talk about tonight. I'm just going to tell you straight from Jump Street. There's no club football. We're in the international break. Most teams are already all but qualified for the World Cup, and the rest are friendlies. But there's some important games here and there. But mostly, like this next week is brutal. There's nothing. There's no footy to talk about. There's also no real time with Bill Maher this week. So that coincided with the international break, which is a massive coincidence. So then that cuts out everything. So we're gonna talk a lot about pro wrestling. And if you don't like pro wrestling, you can do one. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into my wrestling rants anymore. We've already heard them dozens of times on this channel already. But first, I want to address the New York sports scene. So the Giants beat the Eagles last night, which was a big win. And I told you, which is the whole purpose of this channel. I'm telling you right now, Jackson Dart is a Super Bowl caliber winning quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to go be fucking Tom Brady, but he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And I said this weeks ago. And now since he took over, which I didn't want him to be starting this year, but he's 2-1. He has a winning record already. That the loss to the Saints was bad. That was bad. The loss to New Orleans was really bad. But he beat the Eagles, and then I don't even know the other. I forgot the first team. I don't really follow the NFL that much, aside from watching like the Giants games here and there. And that Dallas game, man. But anyway, so that's the Giants. We're riding the ship there. We're riding the ship. Shout out Rooney and Kate every single time. Now we're going to the Yankees. And once again, the Yankees can't get it done in the playoffs. And what's extra disappointing about this is Aaron Judge had a phenomenal postseason. So Aaron Judge showed up. Jazz Griffey Jr. That's what I call him now. Chisholm showed up, but everybody else has to answer uncomfortable questions. What the fuck happened to Cody Bellinger? He hit a one home run, but aside from that moment, he was Wells had that one hit down the line against Boston. He was And then you had Fried. What the fuck happened to Max Fried? Where is the pitching? Where's the bullpen? And then the Aaron Boone, I don't know how he still has his job. It's a little bit like Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. I don't know how Aaron Boone is still employed by the New York Yankees. I don't know. Just because he hit a home run off of Tim Wakefield 22 fucking years ago. He's won nothing. Nothing. He's won literally zero. Blue Jays are good. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just owned us. He just owned us. And the one thing I will say about the Blue Jays is, because I only watch baseball in the postseason, I don't follow during the regular season. I'm not watching some regular season baseball game in the middle of June. I won't do it. But once it gets to like the stretch run and the postseason, the baseball, the MLB postseason is fucking really entertaining because every single pitch matters. You can hit a home run in the top of the first inning and win 1-0. That's why I like football too. You can score off the kickoff, which has happened to Arsenal multiple times, especially during the year where we balled it that 8-point lead, where twice teams scored straight off the kickoff or off of us. I think it was Fulham and Southampton. Southampton scored against us. They got relegated that year. They finished bottom and they scored within 30 seconds. And they won. Or they drew. They drew because we equalized. They drew. But we still dropped 2 points. So that's what makes baseball, and it's different than NBA or NFL because you're going to have multiple opportunities to win the game. No NFL playoff game is going to end 3-0. Imagine getting a field goal and then that's the only scoring play of the game. Impossible. That will never happen. So the baseball, for me, it's obviously football is my favorite sport, but I like the MLB postseason and I like the NHL postseason because every single second has heavy leverage on it. Every goal and every run is ultra precious. And that's ultimately what was the Yankees' demise. The pitching let the Yankees down so much, and that was a great game. At least there was one phenomenal moment, the Aaron Judge home run off the foul pole. But now no one is gonna everyone is gonna fucking forget about that because they lost the series 3-1. That was a great moment, and not just his career, but that's a Yankee historic moment. That home run to equalize, to get it back to 6-6, and then Jazz Griffey Jr. hit the go-ahead home run to win the game-winning run. So the pitching let us down, the managing let us down, and a lot of the top players also let us down. The hitters, playoff G wasn't that good this year. The roles reversed with him and Judge a little bit. G still had a couple of like it wasn't as bad as Judge was last year, but it's just again another more failure. 16 years. Then you have the Knicks, 52 years. The Rangers, 30 years. And we all know Big Daddy Bollocks. We all know about him. And MSG Corp, him, the crew of flunkies and yes men. Fuck them. They're still generating revenue though. They still are. That's the part that gets me so mad. It's all these franchises, the Yankees, the Rangers, the Knicks, global, worth multi-billion dollars, and we can't fucking win. Who gives a shit about the Brooklyn Nets? Irrelevant. Then we have the Islanders, who are an embarrassment. The Jets, embarrassment. The Giants, embarrassment, considering how far we fall. Like, what are we going to do? Because sports has become more like a business now, and it's all about, what do I say? Maximize profit, monetize content. That's what sports is about now. It's not about winning trophies. It's about getting marketable players. It's about getting fashion models that are basically fat. So you want good looking, charismatic, trendy players so that you can sell merchandise and you can have engagement on social media. All right. So that's part of it. Then you have the fans who are just absolutely lost the plot because all they care about is we're the Jalen Brunson team. We're the Aaron Judge team. We're the Cam Scatabo Jackson Dart team. We have Cam Scatabo and Jackson Dart, so it doesn't matter if we win a Super Bowl. Yes, it fucking does. What's the point in competing if you just never going to win? What's the point? You're going to waste Aaron Judge's entire career? He's going to go his entire career without winning the World Series. You know how fucked up that is. But the fans, they're dreaming. They think it's cool that we're the Aaron Judge team. Just like the Rangers with Panarin. But now the fans have turned on Panarin, which I said fucking 5 years ago. Because he disappears when it matters most. It's all good scoring against Buffalo in the regular season in the second game of the year. What are you doing in the playoffs? Answer me. I've had enough of this shit. So, God damn it. That's why I love Eli Manning. Because Eli Manning landed it. He was clutch. The bigger the game, the bigger the moment, the better Eli got. And same with our other players, Hakeem Nicks, um, Tuck, Strahan, fucking Humanura, Pierre Paul before he blew his hand off with the firecracker, um, Pierce, Jabril Wilson, Tom Coughlin as the coach, Brandon Jacobs, Ahmad Bradshaw. This is what I'm talking about. We don't have players like that anymore. And the Yankees, I can name all the Yankees. Jeter, Bernie, Don Mattingly. Fucking A-Rod. Even A-Rod was clutch in that one in the last World Series. A-Rod was good. I'm missing the multitude of names. Who else was super clutch? Like Scott Brocious. Even Scott Brocious. Clutch. Scott Brocious, you know. Now we just have soft, weak-minded, feeble choke artists on all the New York teams. But they all get hyped up on social media. They're all over the magazines. They're all in the commercial. They're all dancing on TikTok. They got no rings. None of them. It's fucking bullshit, man. All right, so let's go Smackdown. Big event tomorrow morning. Crown Jewel. It was originally scheduled to be on Peacock, but now it's on the new ESPN app. That's a very interesting decision. Very interesting decision that they removed that pay-per-view was supposed to be on under NBC, and Disney took it. So you know that the corporate shit we always talk about here. Yeah. Something happened behind the scenes, and I will find out. But it's at 8 in the morning, which is kind of cool. People are complaining about that, but it's like first of all, it's in Australia. You have to cater to the Australian people that are attending the event. What are you talking about? and I actually like and it's good that there's no club football, so now I have something to watch tomorrow morning, selfishly, but a lot of people will be tuning in. I think it's cool that it's in the morning. The last time it was in Perth, Australia, it started at 5 AM. They pushed it to 8 AM. So at least you got a little bit of, compromise. It was fun the last time it was in Perth, which was 2 years ago, I think. The last time there was a pay-per-view in Perth, Australia, it started at 5 AM. Eastern time, I'm saying Eastern. It in the West, it's probably better on the West Coast because it started at 2 o'clock in the morning. You could just stay up on a Friday night, y- Friday into Saturday. You just stay up and watch it. This one is at 8 in the morning, so that's going to be good. Let's pull up the card. And let's talk about it because there's a lot of good matches. Corey Graves, like big up Corey Graves. He got F5 by Brock Lesnar. That was brutal. But he had a second child today. So big up Corey Graves. Congratulations to him and his wife. Um, Corey Graves, for anyone who doesn't know, Corey Graves is the commentator with Michael Cole on WWE, but he's been gone for like a month. Um, because his wife was it was red alert time. It could have happened at any day. Uh, Crown Jewel card. All right, we got Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins for the Crown Jewel Championship. It's interesting that the Saudis created Crown Jewel, and we talked about the Riyadh Comedy Festival last week. But now it's in Australia. I thought it was going to be back in Riyadh again, but maybe they're going to move it around. I bet you will be back in the Middle East next year. And they just got WrestleMania. WrestleMania is going to be in Riyadh in 2027. That's crazy. The first WrestleMania ever in the history of WWE that was not in the United States. The biggest event, the Super Bowl of the World Series, the Stanley Cup Final, the Daytona 500 of wrestling. It's going to be not in the United States. The the Saudis are taking over. We talked about it last week. They're just completely taking over entertainment. It's because everyone just won. It's all about the pound note. Everybody's taking the bag. And we would go back to my last episode. We talk about that. So there's only 5 matches. There's Cody Rhodes against Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes cut a sick promo tonight on Smackdown, which was also in Perth. It was taped earlier this morning, but it aired at nighttime on USA here at 8 p.m. Cody Rhodes against Seth Rollins. I think there's genuine dislike there, not like there is with CM Punk and Seth Rollins, but in terms of wrestling, Rollins is a better wrestler. He's a better in-ring performer, but Cody Rhodes, that promo that Cody Rhodes had was awesome. Go watch that. Just Google Cody Rhodes Smackdown promo October 10th. Elite. Then you have, so who's going to win that match? I think Cody's going to win. Cody's the reigning Crown Jewel champion. Um, and then you have Stephanie versus Tiffany Stratton for the women's Crown Jewel championship. So the Crown Jewel championship is the the world heavyweight title against the universal heavyweight, or against the universal title holder, or the WWE. I think they rebranded it as the WWE champion versus the world champion. Yeah, the women's world champion against and the difference is one is supposed to be Smackdown and one is supposed to be from Raw, but there's so much crossover now that it's just I call it just the WWE champion versus the women's champion, and I would call it the world champion versus the WWE champion. That's basically what it is. And then the winner gets like this sick ring, like speaking of championship titles, which New York hasn't seen in fucking ages. You get like a sick ring and like a custom made belt. That a belt that you don't carry around usually. It stays. I think it stays with like the royal family in Saudi Arabia. But you get to like hold it up that one time. All right, and then we have Cena versus Styles. That's good. That's going to be a better. Tiffany against Stephanie is going to be a good match because they're both elite wrestlers. The Rollins Rhodes one. Rhodes hasn't had a lot of good matches recently. Rollins is good. Rollins is a better wrestler, but I don't know, man. Um, Tiffany and against Stephanie will be a better actual in-ring matchup. Yeah, if you want to get into wrestling, there's two matches you should watch from here. It should be John Cena John Cena versus AJ Styles, or Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton. So Vaquer, she's from Chile. She wrestled in Mexico for a while, and then she moved to Japan for a couple of years. So she's been all over the world. Imagine being from Chile, not knowing English, moving to Mexico. Obviously, that makes more sense because she speaks Spanish. And then living in Japan. Imagine going to Japan and living there, where you don't speak the language. All you do is wrestle, and that's why she's so impressive. She learned 3 different styles. She grew up training in South America, then she trained in Mexico and wrestled in the Mexican league there, which is now called AAA. And then she went to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and now she's in WWE. So she's all over the world. She's a phenomenal wrestler. And Tiffany Stratton's background is she used to be in the U.S. Women's Olympic gymnastic team. So it's incredible. That match is going to be good. Then we have Cena for the spectacle. You have Cena and AJ Styles. Cena's retiring after this year, and I think AJ Styles is retiring. He already announced that he's retiring next year. They're old. They've been fighting for who knows how long. Over a decade. That's a good just old school classic singles match. And then we have Rhea. Obviously, she's gonna wrestle because she's Australian. She's gonna get a huge pop. And Io Sky, also one of the best wrestlers on the planet right now, against Asuka and Kyrie, the Kabuki Warriors, in a tag team match. They've actually done a good job storytelling this match, with Io like wrestling with the fact, no pun intended, wrestling with the fact that she likes her Japanese. She was in a crew with It was called Damage Control. She was in a crew with Asuka and Kairi. They're all Japanese, and Rhea was trying to convince her that they're going to stab her in the back and they're not good for her, so she should get away from them and focus on her own self in her own career. But she didn't want to bail on her mentor Asuka. But then Rhea was just constantly in her ear. They were all both helping each other out against the Kabuki Warriors, which is the tag team of Asuka and Kairi. And yeah, the storytelling in this build up was good. So the quality of this match is going to be very high. I think Rhea, you can't have Rhea lose in Australia. They'll win. Io and Rhea will win. And I think Tiffany beats Stephanie. They might. That's a 50-50, actually. That's a fucking straight coin flip. I take that back. I don't even know. I can't even predict that. I want Stephanie to win, but she might, That's going to be interesting. That's one result that's completely in the balance because I think Cody is going to win. John Cena will win. Rhea and Io will win. And then you have Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Reed, another in an Australian street fight. Bronson Reed, also Australian. So, of course, he was going to have a match in this one. Roman is going to win that easily, but that might be. There's going to be some good spots in that match. There's going to be some crazy, because it's anything goes. You can use weapons. That one is going to go into the crowd and then backstage and all that. So yeah, so I'm picking Roman. That's an easy win. Rhea and Io, Stephanie. I don't know. That's the most intriguing one. That might be the best match on the card. And yeah, Cody will win, but maybe someone interferes and helps Rollins. I don't know. Yeah, so what else do we have? We talked about the international break. We talked Smackdown tonight was good. The Aleister Black. Yeah, we'll end it here. The Aleister Black had a really good match with Damian Priest tonight, but Zelina Vega is a heel now. So I wish. Yeah, I wish Brian was in the chat because I need someone to like. I'm saying Zelina Vega like everyone knows who she is. So Zelina Vega is another wrestler who's been married to Aleister Black for like almost 10 years at this point, and she's usually like a baby face. She's from New York. She's from Queens, and big up Queens, the Q borough. And she turned from hero to villain tonight because usually she was like the good, the nice. She was like the nice wrestler, the one everyone loved, and now she went villain. And she helped her husband behind the scenes beat Damian Priest, who's also Puerto Rican from New York City as well. That was a good match. If you check that out, there was a lot of he blew fire in his face and then he kicked him onto a table. It was crazy. That was like an ECW type match. And for those who don't know, ECW is was Extreme Championship Wrestling, started by Paul Heyman, who's in WWE now, where there's just people were just doing wild shit. It's not as much as the like the bloody, like there's some independent circuits that do crazy shit, but ECW was, in terms of a professional promotion, That was the closest you can get to like the wild indie circuit, which I have an affinity for and I've been to multiple times. Most of the times is in Queens, matter of fact. All right. Anything else? So yeah, Tiffany and Stephanie teamed up today. Did they win? Yeah, they won. They beat Kiana James and Julia. Julia's not getting enough of a push. Another Japanese wrestler that's in WWE as well. Um, what other and then Cody's promo. Everything else about SmackDown was you can skip it. But just watch Cody's promo. I'm telling you right now. Phenomenal. That day we're talking like Stone Cold, Rock, Undertaker, Macho Man, Hogan level promo by Cody Rhodes. And then and yeah, the MFTs are back. I'm not gonna bore you with that. That's now we're getting into like the mid card niche stuff. But yeah, I think that's it. So we talked about Crown Jewel, talked about the international break. Oh, the one last thing, the Arsenal got sanctioned for like manipulating tickets um for the FA Cup game last year. So they got fined. They got fined like $500,000, but it's a suspended fine. So what's that? Basically, the FA said if you do that again, you're going to have to pay the fine for doing something wrong. Imagine that. Imagine if you're driving. Let's just like a normal speeding ticket. Yeah, someone gives you a ticket and says, if you speed again, you have to pay this ticket. So we're going to get away scot-free. They basically said, don't do it again, or you're going to have to pay this fine and another fine. What the fuck is the point of the fine then? But it is interesting that the Cronkies, Cronky Sports and Entertainment, yeah, I know. I see you. I see you. I'm always going to stay on top of you. They were manipulating the tickets just like the clowns at Chelsea with Vivid Seats and Ticketmaster. They're all these American private equity and like these big sports conglomerates are trying to manipulate how global football works so that they can make more money on ticket prices, because tickets in football, you know how much a season ticket is to watch Manchester City? It's like $1,100. You pay more for a single Rangers game sitting behind the glass. You pay more for one single game than you pay for 19 Manchester City games. Think about that. You can get imagine if I can get Yankees season tickets for $1,500. That's what it's like, because soccer it's supposed to be a sport for the working class, the blue collar, the union people. So it's not. The season tickets cost the same as going to one NFL game, just one. There's the difference between America and the rest of the world. And now all the American owners that own that want to take over all the teams want to change that and start charging American sports prices abroad. And the Cronkies got caught. So suck on that, Josh and Stan. I hope you pay that fine. I wish the FA would have giving you a ticket and saying if you do it again, then you got to pay both tickets. But for now, you're good. That's bullshit. Make them pay the money now. All right. So on that note, as always, hope everyone's doing well. Have a good weekend. Happy, healthy, successful. Hope everyone's winning at life. We'll see you next Friday.